Well, good morning. Today we're going to be working on the heating system. I'm acquiescing to some of your requests for getting the cold air return piped into the tiny house. I think that's a good idea. Begrudgingly, I feel like there's enough air and it's not enough CFMs to really be an issue. But I don't want it to be an issue, so I'm going to take care of that. I'm also going to extend the wires for the power station so that I can have the power station in the shop so it'll run the DC heater. So the heater has been off, so it's all cooled down and everything. I've used, how much? I've run it 4 or 5 hours and it wasn't quite full, and it's down, it's just over half. So it's used maybe a quarter of a tank in 5 or 6 hours. So this Anderson connector, I wired it to the heater. There's a fuse in here. So I'll pull this off and I'm going to extend this wire all the way into the shop, and I'll set this inside where it'll stay warm and won't freeze up. That would be a bad thing. The other thing, I'm going to take the air intake, which is on the back here. I'll take that off and drill through and run a pipe into the building, inside the room. This is fine. I'm always able to touch the blowpipe so that heat is not an issue against the wall. The other thing is, if I can get it off, this is the thermostat, and there's only like 6 or 8 inches of wire. I want this in the room, so I'm going to be cutting that and extending that to put inside. So that's the starting project for today. Okay, so we'll run the power station inside. I'll do the wiring on this end inside where it's warm, because it's 30 degrees currently Fahrenheit. Just a little cool outside. Okay, here I go. I'm just going to snip this right here. All right, we'll take this inside. And then what else we got here? Let's see. The air intake. I don't know if I can find any of this pipe or not, but I'll take this off, run into the hardware store and see what I can find to adapt that. Let's say we go inside out of the weather and we'll do a little bit of wiring. Well, 1 hour later, after I brought the OOPS power station in, it was down to 27% or so. So I plugged it in to charge it, and the screen doesn't work. I don't know why. So I'll figure that out. But this was, or is, what I had planned on for power station in the tiny house. So it's completely charged at 100%. So I turned off there's no input or output. There's the only adapter that came with this is like a cigarette lighter that you plug in. And so I'm going to use this. This is for DC output. I'll cut this end off and attach it to the wire that I have over on the table. And that'll get us started in running a line out to the tiny house. Woohoo! All right, let's do this thing. So this is what I'm plugging in. This doesn't seem to plug into anything that I have, so I'm going to cut it fairly close. This is 12 gauge, so it's more than heavy duty enough for the distance that it's got to run. So I have a red and a black red. I'll put the red to red and then the black to bed. Okay, that is that. So now we'll run the wire out to the tiny house and make sure we've got enough length, and then we'll splice it in out there. Okay, I have 5 or 6 extra feet of wire. So I'll cut that off. That will take care of that. The next thing I need to do is feed it. I want to feed it in somewhere, so I'll drill a hole. Go get a drill bit. I'm thinking a hole right here. It'll be towards the front. It'll be easy to wire together and to unwire if needed. Wouldn't you know, the first hole was right into a cross member on the frame. Let's see how easy this is going to be. Oh, I like that. Good. Okay. An ever so slight problem. Apparently that's a 3-wire for the thermostat. So I need to round up some 3-wire to go with that. Next step is to go inside the tiny house and drill a hole, and we'll feed the thermostat wire through. Oh, I haven't been in here this morning. It's colder in here than it is outside, and it's only like 55 outside, I think. Okay, so need to figure out where we're going to put this. I think for now I'll just run it through and leave it kind of just mounted here. Put the insulation up, take it down, huh? There we go. There. And now back outside to wire it in. So I took you folks' advice, and I got a siphon pump, battery operated, so I can pump fuel up into the heating system. Okay, so there's the thermostat wire. I'll wire this up, and I'll be right back. Well, I just want to go over why I'm doing what I just did. In case I didn't explain it well, I've run an extended wire out to the tiny house heater. This is going to be the power station that I will use regularly. I moved it in here, and the reason I extended it was to make sure that this did not freeze when it gets down to like 0 or colder Fahrenheit. So I want to make sure that I took care of this now before the cold weather really comes. The heater, so you can see this red light on. I think you can see that. It's drawing 48 watts, the heater, right now. This was fully charged at 100%. So I have the heater running, and let's go in the tiny house and see how that looks. Thermostat is all installed. I took the bracket off of the heater and mounted it just temporarily against this wall. It's not fixed real well, but it'll stay there. One thing I noticed that I just had it turned down on low the other day when I was running it. So I cranked this up. It's all the way. Whoops, I didn't want to turn it off. No. Stay on.
Start heating.
Okay. This is hotter, colder. There's no thermostat per se in here. It's just higher and lower. So I want that I'm going to run it on high. Because I shut it off, it just cooled down really quickly, and now it's, I wanted to show you how much air is actually coming in here. When it gets going again, I'll show you. Okay, it's turned down quite a bit, so I'm going to turn it up. This time I will not hit the off button. That's kind of not very good, I guess. If you're intending to turn the heat up, instead you hit the off button, you can't just turn it back on. It has to go through its whole cycle. So here it goes. Can you hear the pump pumping quicker? Nice, yeah. Once it gets up to full speed, this thing was shaking just like that. Okay, back to insulating, but it's really cranking out the heat now. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at 28 inches. So I'll cut these down on the floor, get them all sliced and diced, and then I'll set them up there and I'll get up in the loft. That'll be fun. So I determined that I don't have enough insulation. Probably have to get one more bag of insulation. I finally brought a bag in to gather up all the debris, try to keep the floor clean, free from tripping things. Good, good, good. So I wanted to get this one and the one on the other side from down here before I got up there and tried to climb around. Let's see here. Move back. Move on back. Way back in the corner. I haven't done a California corner yet on both back corners. So I have the pieces cut. I have screws. Oh, a screw gun. I'll go up and do that before I finish insulating. So up and away, and I'll be back. And it begins the ceiling. So this is probably where it will get the itchiest. So I'm going to put my hood up, get my gangsta look. Try to keep that off my neck and whatever. I'm running, so it's about, from the peak to the bottom, it's about 55 inches. These are 93-inch lengths. Just going to let it run along, and that way it'll make a really nice seal up through there. So it's the next day from the previous day. I guess that would be obvious. It's 30 degrees outside, again, Fahrenheit, and it was about the same in here. It just cooled off overnight inside. So I turned the heater on, and within 15 minutes, it's probably 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's pretty comfortable already. Actually, good insulating temperature. I'll probably turn the heater down in a little bit. Get Kaya in here helping me today. All right, and it begins. None of this roof is vented because there's just not enough room to get a good vent system in here. And so that's why that's that. That's why that's that. First staple, here we go. First and second staple. Let's do there as well. Woo, warmer already. Make sure I get good insulation in, tucked in behind this box, right? Okay. La 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 la. If I had a free hand, I would poke this through. I'll get it temporarily or tacked up here, and I'll poke that wire through. I was going to say something profound. Oh, what was it? There we go. What was I going to say? Must be losing my mind. I forgot what I was going to say. You can't see me sticking my tongue out. You know how they do that when you're trying to concentrate? I don't really ever do that. I don't think. There. All right, now I've got to go deal with this light fixture over here. Oh, I just remembered what it was. On my stepladder, I built this tray on top of the stepladder and secured it, because most stepladders they're not designed to hold anything up. That's not their intent. So they fill it full of holes where you can maybe stick a screwdriver through it or something to hold it. But whenever I'm up here, I'm quite often needing screws and things, and so it's just a nice shelf. So what if we just turn this off for now? Ooh, I can see. I really liked what Doug did here when he wired this. He had me cut some holes for a light fixture just in cardboard as a temporary. So after I get this insulation up, I can set that right back up here and plug it back in. Pretty slick. Oop, I lost a screw. You ever notice in building it's just like, it's never long enough no matter what you do. It's just, they have to build things to a certain length, you know, but I guess typically these bats would work for an 8-foot wall. Oh, I can't wait to get the tongue and groove pine. So we're apparently in a previous video, I had said that Sandy was leaning towards a gray whitewash or gray wash. That's not what she said. I just wanted to point that out. We're not sure. We're still trying to figure that out, and the time is drawing nigh when we've got to make a decision, because drawing nigh, N-I-G-H, drawing close, getting near, where I need to figure out what color, because I want to stain it all or paint it ahead of time so that it's done. The one drawback to painting is if there's knots in the wood, they bleed through, and so I'm not sure that I want to deal with that. I know you can conceal it with bins or what's the other side? Shellac, I guess. You can seal the knots anyway. Let us know your thoughts on that. That would be good. Good. good, good, good. All right. Do a little hole pokey. Hole pokey, yeah. Interesting. The the paper runs by the insulation about 3 or 4 inches. Okay. There. 2 feet out of 16 feet done, except for just this little part. I actually have some little short pieces I'll stuff up in there. Very good. Oh, I like that. These folds, they kind of, sometimes they're just not really laid very well. They kink up. You have to work it a little bit. There, once the boards are put on, that'll draw right tight there. Good. One done. All right. So now we'll just reverse what we did in taking it down. Okay. Apparently I left a cap up inside. Okay. Boy, that light is blinding. Fit that in. Screw it together. These are really low wattage, so they don't give off like any heat to speak of. Let's try it right there. I'll have to pull that screw when I put the next row of insulation on. And remember, you don't have to worry which way the writing is, because they alternate it. That's pretty cool. For someone that's OCD with lettering facing right side up, it's very comforting, right? So what time is it? Let's see. I've been in here less than an hour, and it's up. It must be 70. I need to get a thermometer so I can tell what the temperature is. But off. Stop heating. It says it'll take a while to wind down, cool down, and then shut off. But I may turn it on later. Just an update on the heat. So it's like 35 degrees outside, and it got up to 65 probably in here. So I shut the heater off, and it's been half an hour since I shut it off. And it's cooled down into the 50s. So I turned the heater back on. I'm pretty happy with that, considering still have a lot of insulating to do to close it up. So speaking of insulating, I'm doing this last bay. This needs a filler to bring it out flush for framing, so I can run pine all the way up to the ceiling. But I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to put a nailer on here. I'll insulate, and then after I put the boards, I'll run the boards this way, and then I can put a nailer on the face of the tongue and groove pine all the way up through here, so it'll have a nailer for the wall to go. Uh-oh, my mask's falling off. Back to work, Kenny. With the insulation on, you don't hear, or I don't hear, the clicking as much as loudly as it was before. You can still hear it, but it's very small amount of noise. 3 more bays for the ceiling. I do have enough for the ceiling, and I may be close enough to have enough left over for the gable ends. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see soon. Okay, we are insulated. I'm just going to go chink around that window, and then all that's left is the 2 gable peaks. This part will be all done. You know what I'm saying? That'll be great. I kind of get all sweaty up here. It's like hot. Okay, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on a lot of this stuff. If you have any ideas, I really appreciate you hanging along. Hit the like button and share it. And if you're not a subscriber to this tiny house project, please subscribe.